The Rams double down on their Super Bowl or bust trade with a record contract for Trent McDuffie. The Chargers add blocking, only not where you would expect it. And let the roster bloodletting with the Dodgers begin. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is March 9th, 2026. Welcome back to the home office. We added a couple of new subscribers to the Angeleno Familia over the weekend. Thank you. We're going to do our best to keep you informed. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. So, before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Lakers 110, New York 97. Luka Doncic scored 35. LeBron James missed a second consecutive game, and yet the Lakers posted a statement victory, which I am sure is going to let all of our gossipy little wordsmiths online go nuts. I'll let you join in that gossip if you like. Not my cup of tea. Meanwhile, today, New York stays in town. They're going to play the Clippers at 7, and the Kings start a 5-game roadie today. They're at Columbus at 1. So, with that out of the way, let's get to the news. For the last couple of seasons, there were two storylines with the Rams defense. One, you heard it all the time. This is the most inexpensive defense in the NFL. And then number two, the pass coverage is trash. So, to solve the latter, the former had to go. The Rams have signed newly acquired corner Trent McDuffie to a 4-year, $124 million extension. Dude hasn't even taken a snap with his new team, and he's the highest paid corner in league history. He was set to enter the final year of his rookie contract, make about $13 million, which, you can get by with that in LA. It's a start. But at that point, the Rams called Kansas City and said, hey, would you like to help us as we F our picks? So, 4 picks being sent to the Kansas City Swifties, and $100 million of the contract absolutely guaranteed, which is a king's ransom. And I don't really have a problem with it being a king's ransom, so long as we can answer the following question in the affirmative. Is he Jalen Ramsey level? That's why you make this trade and offer this amount of money, wouldn't you say? If you look at the way that the Rams play defense, they often start by running a lot of dime coverage in the backfield. Well, they have 2 safeties. They also have 2 corners. They still need to add, obviously. But again, is Trent McDuffie Ramsey 2.0? Now, there is a reason to believe it's true, and I hope when I describe this to you, I am not injecting too much hopium. The Rams, with former defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, created a special position for Ramsey in 2020 after they had acquired him from Jacksonville. The star position, as it was called, basically converted him from a guy who had locked down one half of the field into a chess piece that can play the slot, that can play corner, that can play inside the box for run support, even edge rusher in a pinch. McDuffie is 25. Ramsey was acquired just days before his 25th birthday. We know McDuffie was an All-Pro in 2023 when he played nickel back. Theoretically, that puts him in the slot, guys. Moreover, scouting reports describe McDuffie as a willing tackler who can blitz effectively. When all of those mock drafts during the last season, leading up into the last couple of weeks, claimed that the Rams had no choice but to draft an elite corner with their first pick, I was all alone out there telling you that that was a mistake if they did. Because the Rams play such complex coverage schemes, you can't pin all of that on a rookie and expect him to thrive. You need somebody who has played enough of the game to use their head that much and still be young enough to have the athletic capability to play all the positions that the star would require. Not that McDuffie will retire as a Ram. We got to be real about that, because I'm not even sure McDuffie will finish all 4 years of his contract. I'm sure Rams fans can recall, they eventually had to trade Ramsey away for cap relief to Miami. Now, since Ramsey was sent away, the star position has since been handed down. Currently, it's with safety Quentin Lake. And it's true that the Rams love Quentin Lake. But it might also be true that they gave him way too much responsibility. He's a safety. You have him playing up on the line of scrimmage all the time. You're leaving the other safety, Cam Curl, all alone. So yeah, it makes more sense to have a young, elite, athletic, and heady cornerback playing the star position. If you're a Rams fan, of course, let me know what you think about that assessment in the comments thread. By the way, the so-called legal tampering period in NFL free agency opens at 9 this morning. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I am posting this update super early in the morning, because if I wait just a fraction of a second, there are going to be so many roster moves that I don't know if I'll be able to keep up the pace and post this in the morning. The Chargers, for example, are going to be in the top 5 in terms of teams with cap space. Hell, for all I know, the Raiders are going to attempt to build an entire roster in 90 minutes. So, back to the Rams for a moment. The amount of cap space that they have varies according to which source you believe, because they haven't even necessarily factored in McDuffie's contract yet. What I can tell you is that at this moment, their biggest needs are, aside from 2 defensive backs, mostly backup type players. For example, 3rd wide receiver. Granted, they will still play with 3 wide receivers a lot, but obviously Tutu Atwell was never able to excel there. I have read some people claim inside linebacker is a need. That's not true. The Rams line up in a 4-1-6. If they go get a linebacker, it's going to be an inside linebacker. They have a starting linebacker. They signed Nate Landman to an extension last year. So again, lots of Rams news to discuss. Feel free to let me know what you think. When you get to be my age, anything that reminds you of the good old days, well, it's not that it makes you happy. It makes you forget about how much you've wasted your life, right? It's really quite lovely when you look at it that way. Just give me anything that reminds me of the good old days. Anything that makes me think I still have a future. So for me, that's when any team says we have a fullback. Oh, I love fullbacks. Makes me think of when I was in high school and couldn't get a date even if I had a suitcase full of money. So, shout out to the Chargers for signing Alec Ingold, who will rejoin his former Dolphins head coach, Mike McDaniel, both of them now with the Bolts. So yeah, you would want to say McDaniel is an old school type of coach. But yeah, he's probably going to introduce Ingold wearing capri pants and a halter top, and then I'll be the bitter old man yelling at the clouds once again. There's one other thing to keep in mind, because again, the Chargers have a ton of cap space. It's great that they added another blocker in Ingold. But if the season started today, new center Tyler Biadasz will look at either side and say, hey, Ingold, can you play guard? We don't seem to have any up here. It was only a matter of time. We read this all the time on lines, all watch it on the networks, on the streaming systems. Analysts just love them some Dodger prospects. Man, the Dodger minor league system. Can't get enough of it. But let me tell you something about the Dodger minor league system. Even if the baby Jesus hit 30 bombs at AAA Oklahoma City, there's no room at the inn. He's not playing for the Dodgers this year. It's just not happening. So the Dodgers sent down 12 minor leaguers yesterday, including arguably their best prospect in outfielder Josue De Paula. Now, if you're wondering how De Paula is done during the spring, it's hard to say. Was he actually overmatched? He had 9 hits, including a double, in 27 at-bats this spring. And he also had 4 walks. So the on-base percentage is pretty decent. The batting average is pretty decent, but he struck out 8 times. In other words, he had just 1 more base hit than strikeout. You could tell blood was about to spill all over Camelback Ranch yesterday. All the blood. More blood than in an Evil Dead reboot. Because the Dodgers yesterday, they blow a 7-run lead in a spring training game, right? Mostly on the arm of one reliever, Jordan Weems. Why didn't Dave Roberts pull the guy, you ask? Probably because he was too busy filling out the cut list and Weems was already on it. You're like, bro, the moment you're off the mound, you're heading over to the Midwest manure pit. We just haven't decided whether it's Tulsa or OKC. So feel free to get your yayas out in a meaningless spring training game, my dude. Tis what it is. USC basketball will carry its 7-game losing streak and, I might add, a completely lost season into the Big Ten tournament. The Trojans will face Washington at 11:30 a.m. Wednesday. Now, we don't know who UCLA is going to play yet. The Bruins have a higher seed. They have to wait for the first round to finish before learning who they will play at 6 p.m. Thursday. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the state of the Rams defense for a Super Bowl run now that you know Trent McDuffie is the guy. For that matter, who do you imagine the Rams and or Chargers adding by the time I post on Tuesday? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thanks for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.